Alright guys, today we're taking a look at a game called 5 Minute Marvel. It is a game for 2 to 5 players, and technically the game plays in 5 minutes, but really the game actually wants you to play it in more like 30 minutes, and you'll see why in the overview, and I'll talk about it at the end of the video. You can play it in 5 minutes, depending on how you actually want to play the game, which we'll talk about towards the end, but technically, according to the rules, it's technically a 30-minute game. But basically what this is, it's obviously a sequel of sorts to another game that came out before this called 5 Minute Dungeon, or at least in the same vein. And this is obviously Marvel themed. It comes with 10 different heroes from the Marvel Universe. And as a Marvel fan myself, I'm really excited to check this one out. So let's start off with taking an overview of how this game is actually played, and then we'll come back to the table and I'll tell you what I think.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech, going for a recce is the gaming tech, gaming techie is the gaming tech, gaming techie.
Alright guys, so here we are with 5 Minute Marvel. I just want to give you a really quick overview on how this game is actually played. This is a really simple game. Basically, the game comes with 10 different heroes. You can see the 10 heroes that are sitting here, and I'll just read off to you what the heroes actually are so you know what comes in the game. You got Captain America, Iron Man, Squirrel Girl, Spider-Gwen, Medusa, Miss Marvel, Rocket and Groot, Spider-Man, Hulk, and Black Widow. So those are the characters that it all comes with. And then as far as the villains go, you got Green Goblin, Modok, Red Skull, Ultron, Loki, and Thanos. So those are all the ones, and you do play them in a certain order. Some bosses, you can see boss 1, boss 2, boss 3, boss 5, boss 6. And basically what you do in a game is you start off with 1, and then you have to try and make your way through 6. And each boss is 5 minutes, unless if you lose and you have to do the boss again. And basically what you do, let's say that we're playing the first game. This is the boss, right? And we're putting this on top of here. This is known as the door deck, and you randomly shuffle in door cards depending on how many people are playing, and crisis cards, 1 per player. If you want to do the easier version, or the more harder version, you add 2 crisis cards per player. And this is the standard resource deck, and this is the hand of 10 cards that comes specifically for each hero. These are specifically for the hero. For example, Captain America, being a person who always protects people and stuff, has a lot of shields in his hand because he's the person who shields. Iron Man, that's playing on the other side, obviously has a lot of Jarvis symbols because he's like the technology guy. He was always, he could defeat things with his abilities and stuff. So that's what his, deck is basically constructed on. And also each hero also has an ability, superpower that they can use. It says super boost, discard 3 cards to recover an injured hero, just like Iron Man would. And not Iron Man, Captain America. And then this one says repulse surge, discard 3 cards to draw 5 cards. So basically what you do is there's a timer. It's a 5-minute timer. You can either set a 5-minute timer yourself, or you can use the app. There's a free app available on the iOS and Android store that you can use as well. And once you have the game set up like we do right now, basically the timer is going to start. You have 5 minutes, and you're going to have a hand of 6 cards that all look like this. Everyone has a hand of 6 cards, and you're all playing at the same time. This is a simultaneous game. These are your 6 cards, and you're going to rapidly be taking the first card from the deck, and you're going to have to try and defeat it as fast as possible using the symbols that are there. So this is looking for a shield and a yellow. So between me and my partner, we're yelling across the table, and we're saying, hey, I got a shield right here, and it's looking for a yellow. I don't have a yellow. Maybe my partner does, and they're looking for a yellow. For example, let's see when we find the yellow. They play a yellow, and now that's defeated. And you keep going. And now we have a crisis. The crisis says, pass your hands to another hero. So you obviously rotate hands, and then you continue playing. You go to the next one. Now this one is a goon, and you need a yellow again. So you would play the yellow here, and you're doing this all as quick as possible. And he needs a yellow and a running man. I got the running man. Oh, and he needs a shield. I can use a shield. If it has 2 symbols, you can either use one or both if you want to, but you obviously lose the rest of it. And then you keep going. And some of the cards, all these are resource cards. They'll all be the different symbols on the cards. But you always have to have a hand of 6 cards in your hand. So when you want to draw back up to 6, you can either take from the resource deck, or you can take from your Captain America special deck. But keep in mind that if this deck runs out, if you have nothing else to draw from the resource deck, you automatically lose the game, because you have no other resource cards, and you only have a hand of 10 cards for Captain America. So once you use the 10 special cards, they won't come back. So he has a bunch of double shields. He has ones that you can either pause the time and heroes can trade cards. You can cancel a crisis card, which is a block. So he has some nice powerful cards. All heroes can draw 2 cards. So he's definitely a support character in the game, just like he would be, in the Marvel films. But like I said, they're one use. When you use them, they obviously go to the discard pile. And you're basically doing this. You're trying to do it as fast as possible. You're trying to get through this whole entire deck before the 5 minute time. The 5 minute timer is up. If you get through all of these cards in the door deck, and all of these cards are defeated, then you're going to end up with a green goblin, and you have to defeat him with the symbols. Now, special abilities here won't work if a special ability says you defeat a minion or something, or a character. That doesn't apply to this. You have to actually use the symbols. So you have to use these symbols to defeat him. You play those symbols. If you get to do that in under 5 minutes, you win. There may come a time, obviously, throughout the game that both your partner, your teammates, none of us have the symbol that this is looking for. You can decide on your own to injure yourself, and injure yourself means you flip the board around. Now you're injured, and you discard all of the cards that you have in your hand, thereby obviously depleting your deck even more. And you draw a new hand of 6 cards, so you have a different variety of options now. And you can't use your special ability, obviously, when the card is flipped around. There are some cards or some people's ability who can make someone not injured, like, for example, his ability. So he's not a person that you want to injure because he's the person that could bring people back. But that's basically the gist of the game. You're doing that. You're going through it. You're trying to defeat him. If you defeat him, then you move on to boss number 2, and you do all the cards again. You shuffle them all back up, hand them all out, and you can pick different heroes if you want from mission to mission. And you're basically just doing that. You're fighting through all the minions and stuff, using your special cards, and going through the cards and trying to beat it as fast as possible and get through all 6 bosses. That is how the game is played. Let's go ahead and get back to the table, and let me tell you what I think about this game. All right, guys, so that was 5 Minute Marvel. So as you guys saw in the overview there, what I was talking about in the beginning, that this game is technically not 5 minutes, it's more than 30, is because the rules technically tell you that once you beat the boss 1, you go to boss 2, then you go to boss 3, and you try to beat all 6 basically in one sitting. So if you do that, it's 5 minutes per boss that you're actually trying to beat. And that's if you don't lose multiple times to those bosses. So one boss is 5 minutes, but if you're going to do what the rules say and go through all 6 in one sitting, then obviously, depending on how many times you lose, is how many sessions you could do. But obviously, the game can be played in 5 minutes if you're just trying to have a quick game in between another game that you're waiting for people to get to your house or stuff to play the main game. This is a perfect game for that. You can kind of fit it in there, play for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever the case may be. Now, what I really like about this one here, besides the fact that it's a Marvel themed, that makes me more interested in the theme itself, as opposed to 5 Minute Dungeon, which is basically a similar game, but this one has some better tweaks in it. This one has special abilities on all the different characters. On the little player board, it has special abilities for every single character, which is cool. And even more importantly is that each of those character decks really feel like they're unique, and they actually feel like they tie into the hero. Like I show you, Captain America has a lot of support-related things. It has a lot of shields in its deck. Iron Man has a lot of tech in his deck, so he's doing a lot of the blue things, and he's able to defeat minions and stuff due to his technology. The Hulk does a lot of attack, has a lot of the punching symbol because, of course, he's the Hulk and he destroys everything. So, and his special abilities go with that. That's on his card. So, they just feel really thematic and really tie into what they actually do in the Marvel Universe. It ties perfectly with this game, and I think they did a good job of selecting the heroes that make sense and making each deck that you have there feel unique, that you actually want to try the different heroes out because they each bring a different flavor and a different perspective into the game. Obviously, the game only takes 5 minutes to play. It's a really easy game to get into. It takes like 2 minutes to teach, and it's not complicated at all. And I really like this one. I really like 5 Minute Dungeon. Like I said, I really love the theme. I love being able to pick my own character and mission to mission be able to pick my character that I want to do. It's obviously a speed game that you're playing with your friends, but it's definitely one of those games that's a perfect game to slide in for like 10 or 15 minutes, try to beat a few villains and stuff like that, and then get the while you're waiting for other people to come over or that they're not all here. Whatever the case may be. This is a really good game, really solid. It's not just a slap-down theme that they put on here. The theme does do its justice by every deck feeling different, and the special abilities on there that actually match the character you're using. Really easy game to play, great game to play in between other games or while other players are while other players are coming into your game night because of how quick it plays and how easy it is to teach. This is definitely going to stay in my collection as a big Marvel fan, and I don't really have a lot of speed games like this in my collection. I don't think I have any, actually. So this fits perfectly in my wheelhouse because I do actually like speed games. Being able to play this cooperatively with your friends and family who come over, and it being an easy game to teach, and a great theme that a lot of people already like. This is an easy ad for me. That's 5 Minute Marvel from SpinMaster. If you guys have any questions about anything you guys have seen here today, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.
GamingTechie is the gaming tech. GamingTechie, gaming tech. Eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a recce is the gaming tech. GamingTechie is the gaming tech. GamingTechie.